Hello class, and welcome to the summer edition of Introduction to Sociology. My name is Julie Manning, or Mrs. M for short, and I'm looking forward to going through sociology and applying it to the real world and how sociology really is an aspect of everybody's life, regardless of what job you're in, and it applies to personal life as well. Real quick, I'm going to walk you through, for those of you that do not know how to sign into NTC or Blackboard. If you go to www.ntc.edu, you'll see My NTC right here. You'll log in with your student ID and then go to Blackboard. Once you go to Blackboard, you will pull up, yours will look like somewhat like this. I'm on the Teacher's Edition. And now my computer's running slow, so technical difficulties, hang in there. So you will have a course list. Select the course that you're interested in. In this case, it would be whatever section you're in, Intro to Sociology. And I am selecting this one right here, Section 3. And the first thing that will come up will be the early access. Please take the time to read this. This is extremely important. Anything that I put in the announcement section is very relevant, and you need to review these. This is where I may have changes in the syllabus that I need you to know about. Depending on how things go, we might drop a discussion. We might modify courses and different assignments. So please be sure to check here. Located here also is the welcome. This basically is going to give you an overview of what tasks need to be completed and where these tasks are located. Real briefly, we're going to have 17 quizzes, which is a weekly quiz. Well, since it's expedited, actually, you're going to do 2 quizzes per week. They're 10 questions worth 1 point each. During lecture, I literally give you the questions. So as long as you take notes, these quizzes will not be a problem. All quizzes and the final exam are open book and relatively easy. So as long as you attend class and take notes, these quizzes will not be a problem. There's a 20-minute time limit on the weekly quiz, and then the final exam, there are 80 questions, and they are taking directly from the 17 quizzes. At the end of the semester, I will have a study guide with all of the questions that were in the 17 quizzes that will be available to you. All you have to do is make sure that you have the right answer. And again, final exam is open book. We'll get into the PAT, or the writing assignments, shortly, as well as the discussion post for class. But I want you to really understand, to review this, and definitely review plagiarism. It is extremely important. If you plagiarize, you can be expelled from college. So you need to definitely use APA formatting, which I have a template on here for you. And if you have questions regarding that, please don't hesitate to contact me. My preferred method is my cell phone. So with that said and done, let's move on and go to course information. And under course information, you will find the syllabus. You just click on this and open it up. I've already got mine open, so I'm going to pull it over here. And here's my syllabus. And at the very top, you'll find the course number, the section number. So you got to know that's important, because if you're calling or emailing me, I need to know what section you're in, because I do teach a couple other classes. Here's my contact information. Please note that I do prefer my cell phone, and please be respectful of the hours, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. And yes, weekends are okay. I will answer you as soon as I can. And please, if you have any issues, any problems, and I know life happens, so if something happens, it's best for you to contact me immediately so we can get the issues resolved and I can help you complete this course successfully. My appointment, I will meet with you anytime that you want. as long as I'm not in class. So my office hours are actually going to be by appointment. So please call my cell phone number and we can work something out to get together. Here, this information here is all about the start and the end date, the meeting locations, and so forth. And then here we have our course description and our information. Please read this really quickly and review what's going on. We're going to be discussing some controversial subjects, and it's very important that you respect everybody's opinions. You may not agree with them, and that's fine. But please know that some subjects we talk about are going to be a little bit touchy, and so just respect everybody's opinion. That's all I ask. So going on, again, the textbook required is right here. I highly recommend you get this immediately and start reading chapters 1 and 2 in preparation for the first day. And again, we've got the soft skills that are required by NTC to pass this class. I'm not going to spend much time on it during this video because you need to read this and understand it. This will be part of your Learning Plan 0 quiz. So it's very important that you do read this and understand it. Print the syllabus out so you know, so when you're taking the quiz you can refer to it. And then we have course competencies. Again, same thing. And then the grading information. This is probably one that you want to know most about. This is the grading information and how you will be graded. In order to pass the class, you need a minimum of a 70%. So that means that you really need to do all of your assignments, all of your homework, and get them in. Unfortunately, I've had students that skip several assignments and because of that reduce their grade. Now here's this assessment information, which I talked briefly about before, but on the syllabus, if you look at it, it'll tell you the point value and what percentage overall it is of the actual total grade. The discussion board introduction, that's going to be your first thing that you want to do in addition to the learning plan. So Learning Plan 0 quiz, excuse me. And then your first draft or your PAT, and then your final draft. And so if you see here, the percentages I tried to distribute rather evenly so that if you're better at writing and not really good at taking quizzes, this will help you out. So we'll go through that a little bit more in class, or if you have questions, you let me know. Turnaround time for grading, usually within 1 to 2 weeks, I will get that done. There are due dates, and we'll get to that in a minute, and no exceptions unless you have an extenuating circumstance. Please contact me if you miss an assignment, and let's get to that. We'll help you get through that. Again, this is really important. This is what I briefly talked about. Disruptive and rude behavior. Be sure to know this and understand it. And then one thing here too is roll call is taken daily. Again, this is because attending class is vital. The participation, as you saw above, was worth a good chunk of your grade, so you need to definitely attend class. In addition, as a bonus, if you attend every single class, you will earn 15 points at the end of the semester for perfect attendance. If you miss one class, you will get 10 points. That will be the extent of the extra credit. That is it. So please review all these guidelines and what is expected of you, and know what's going on. And then also, as important, is the course revisions. Note that this is tentative. I sometimes change my course syllabus. I may drop a discussion if we get into a really good discussion in class, and I might drop a discussion paper. So please be sure to check often. Here is where you will find all of the quizzes of the weekly learning plans, and what is expected that week. So for instance, the week of June 6th through 12th, this is what is due. This is what we're going to cover. again, come to class prepared. These are the things that are due, and they're due, as it says right here, due by the Sunday prior to the next class. So everything for the week of June 6th through the 12th, all of these, will be due by 11:59 on June 12th. So with that said, you'll see that we'll watch some interesting films. We'll have some great discussions, and we'll hopefully have some really lively debates. So I went to discussion board, and you only have one discussion board for this particular class. This is the introduction, so real brief. It's very simplified. What I highly recommend you doing, this is an all or nothing post. So you will either receive 15 points or you will not receive 15 points. There is no in between. You need to definitely answer all the following questions. My suggestion is to definitely copy and paste this into a Word document and then answer these questions, or you can even do it into the welcome introduction. So if we did a copy and then did the introduction, and you open that, and hopefully it'll open soon. You go to create a thread and put a subject in there. I would copy and paste it and just answer every question in here. That way you know that you've covered everything that you need to cover. Please make sure that you, when you're doing your discussion or any paper within the class, that the sentences are grammatically correct, the spelling is correct, and they're complete sentences. For this particular post, you don't need APA guidelines, but for the other papers, you do. So moving on, I'll go into the learning plans real quick and give you a brief overview of what is going on. So for learning plan 0, here is the learning activities, the approximate time that it should take, and then the quizzes that you need to do, and then a note to the discussion board, which we were just at. If you click on learning plan 0, you will see that I have a peer review guide, and that should be pretty much in every learning plan. That is where you would get your academic journal to support your papers for your weekly discussions. You also have an APA template that gives you the format that I want you to use for each handout. So be aware of that. Here are the quiz instructions. Review these. That's pretty basic, but still you need to know. And then again, the citations and plagiarism handout. Here is the learning plan 0 quiz, and that is taken from all of these. So if you know these and you've looked at my syllabus, then you will be able to understand this as well. Going back to the learning plans real quick, you'll see that I have plagiarism document in here, the APA template, which is the format that I want you to definitely use. And then here is the Academic Peer Journals article is a step-by-step instruction on how to find them within the NTC library. And then likewise, the chapters 1 and 2, if you remember looking back at our syllabus, they're combined, but it's going to be done in 1 week. There is one discussion paper that will be due for each class. Here we have the objectives and what we plan to cover for this particular thing. There is a PowerPoint presentation as well as a quiz. They are already opened, and they're already opened and ready to go. So I went to chapter 3, culture. Again, here is a checklist of what shall be done, the competencies, and then finally, I want to get down here real quick. Here will be the discussion on the Alaskan Bush People film that we will watch. Attached are all of the information that you need, the instructions. Be sure to use that template. again, it's very important. If you don't use the template, you will be dinged.